because before it was actually staggering growth within the organisation. It's very effective now. I mean, you don't have to put every single element.
Okay, so let's talk about, I want to go a little bit deep into it. I think this is the non-sexy stuff of the business, which means that it's not about meeting new people, putting a proposal. I think that's the boring stuff, but this is so important to have a business so that you can build a business that can run without you. So I want to go deep into that, Andrew, for 1 minute. So what kind of system you recommend the people or the business owner should build so that they can replace themselves, or maybe in a couple of years, or have their own succession planning?
Well, I think you have to look at that question that you just asked. If you weren't in the business, who would run it?
Okay.
Now, if you're a one-man operation, that can be hard, obviously, because it's probably purely dependent on you. But like, all the guys started off as a 1 or 2 man operation.
Yeah, that's it.
If anything happened to Dunlick in the first year of his business, his partner was carrying the load. Same with Hillary and same with myself. So like, I mean, you have to really look deeply at what that person has to do in the event of you not being here. Do you have a strategy for hiring that in the event of, look, you're gone for 6 months, we need somebody on a temporary measure that can do his partner's job so he can step into Dunlick's job.
So mapping those job responsibilities,
yeah.
And then mapping the people against that.
Yeah, and I don't think, to be fair, I was probably 7 or 8 years into our business, even coming from a structured organization where you would be disciplined in what you do, you tend to not look at the sexy stuff. It's like, oh yeah, we get to that in a minute, but it's actually critical to your business. It definitely, when you get to a leadership team level, then when your business is growing exponentially year on year, you have to have those processes in place. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're hiring somebody to replace you. That's what Hillary's goal is, I'm sure, is to get out of the business and do as little as possible and have the financial rewards. I mean, but ultimately, you look at most CEOs in any business, they work various of times in a week. They're not doing 14 or 16 hours. They're probably not even doing 8 hours. But the time they are working, they're really effective in what they do. But they have people to run the business when they're not there. Ultimately, my goal is to get back out and be forward-facing to the client. I like to think I'm a bit of a people person. I do like meeting people, and you're selling your brand, you're selling your business, and that's ultimately where the bigger projects come in. And more so than Dunlick, he's getting out there talking to people and just telling them, look, this is what we can do. This is why you need to work with us.
And I want to go back to you, right? When we were talking last time on the phone, you mentioned something like, you're very miserable with time.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Can we talk about that? Now, I want to tell you some context to it, right? We were talking about a disease a lot of business owners or entrepreneurs have, and that disease is called SOS, which is a shiny object syndrome, right? Which means when we, listen, that's something which is a strength of ours, which is basically we're very innovative, we want to chase the next big idea, we want to chase the next project, next client, and we chase that shiny new thing. Like, I personally feel that, I have so many projects so many drafts open in my email, so many domains I bought, I'm going to start those websites, right? So always chasing this shiny object thing. And Andrew given a different philosophy to that. What did you talk about, the magpie?
The magpies love shiny objects.
Please tell people. Well, I think this is a challenge for all of us as entrepreneurs.
Well, I think go back to what I said earlier on about the ultimate challenge for any business owner, CEO, leadership team is managing time. And I don't mean managing it just, I'm doing this at 8 o'clock, there's an element of that, but just managing it in the right way so that you can be productive. And the thing with the magpie is that you see the shiny object, you get distracted. And probably the mobile phone is probably, as much as it is fantastic, it's probably our biggest distraction during the day. And so I was telling Hillary when we were chatting before we came up, 1st of January I turned every single notification off my phone. I don't buy the newspaper anymore, I don't listen to the radio.
So you don't know what's happening to Leo at all, right? I thought Leo would be our next.
I mean, I seen about 10 minutes of the debate last night, and I would probably turn it off anyway. It was pretty miserable.
So you have no notification on the phone now?
No. I check my phone at 9 o'clock, I check my phone at 1 o'clock, and I check it at 5:30 before I leave the office to head home. And if anything catastrophic happens during the day, they'll find me.
Okay, my last question to the panelists is, the final top 2 takeaways they want to give you, but I would like to invite you questions from the audience. Do we have any questions, please?
Hi.
Yeah, would you please say your name and the company and the question, please?
My name is Utanat. I'm Group Marketing Manager for a social finance company called Community Finance Ireland. And my question is to Andrew. I've come from a big corporate organisation and I'm now working in what's traditionally a 13-team all-island company, having come from an organisation like RBS, which had 10,500 people. And succession planning is something that is not applied, whether the size or the scale of the business. You said you had succession planning in for your particular business. Can you talk a little bit about the time and the process that you took with it? Because people talk about it, but we don't actually understand how we actually get at it.
It's a good question. I suppose the realization for me was probably back in 2014, 2015. We were turning over probably about maybe 2.5, 3 million, and that was a substantial increase in where we'd come from. And I had no leadership team whatsoever. And I forget where I was. I think it was at a seminar or something, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, your leadership team is ultimately what's going to dig you out of the doo-doo event and it hits the fan." And I kind of went away from that, having probably not taken a lot of the whole seminar as that, but that kind of key point resonated with me. And then I went on that journey of getting the leadership in place. And again, I was chatting with earlier on, it probably took me 3 years to get my leadership team in place. And the last piece of the puzzle was on the 13th of January this year, where I hired a COO who's ultimately probably going to be my successor. Ultimately, I mean, she's a rock star. Even the time that she's taken or given back to me by taking some of the stuff off that the 20 euro, 30 euro jobs that I was doing when I really should have been doing the 125 euro jobs, has been incredible. And I've seen that even my own productivity since the new year has gone through the roof. So I think it's the realization that you really can't do it all yourself. So ultimately there has to be, and not so much a get out game. I mean, I'd love to be doing the 3 days in the office. I'm aspiring to what Hillary's doing at the moment. That we do want to work less in the office, but not really maybe less on the business. I think when you actually step outside of that role for a time, you get a much more clearer picture of where you think the business should be going. And when you're stuck in the mire, if you're in the trenches, as Annika said, you really can't see the wood from the trees. And a lot of the stuff you're doing is reactive and not proactive. So I would take, like you're 13, I definitely think you should be looking at that. Maybe not necessarily looking for your successor, but definitely a management team that in the event of you being out for 2 or 3 months, that the role could function quite easily and the business could run. And then when you come back, you can seamlessly sink back into it. As your business grows, definitely if you're getting to 20, 25, 30 people, you should be definitely then looking at, okay, what is my exit strategy? Not so much out of the business, but like, what do I want to do in 10 or 15 years' time for the business? And I think they're kind of misconstrued a lot of times. They're muddling together, but really they should be separated because it is key.
Just very quickly, franchising is a fantastic idea. The 2 main requirements are that you have to have a proven concept. First of all, it can't be some new idea you just thought up or that you're just doing for a few months. And secondly, you have to be making money at it yourself. I suppose the bit I don't quite agree with is that it doesn't have to be unique. There are lots of franchises out there that are Me Too. Our own business is a Me Too business, and yet we're doing it for 27 years and we're in 16 countries. But the key thing about it is that it has to be reproducible. And that's really the bit you have to work on, that your process is in place that other people can emulate and they're happy to pay you money such that they avoid making all the mistakes you made when you started your business. And that's the essence of a franchise.
Thank you very much, John.
And just on that, Kibble, and John is 100% right, and our business isn't franchise, but in terms of anything you do with a business is driven by sales. So if you want to get that extra person to take over when you go, you have to drive sales because that will give you the resources to actually go and do that. And sales, as much as it is that nasty word, and it's the lifeblood of any business. You can do nothing within your organization without it. So if you want to get to the next level, no matter what level you're on, whether you're a one-man show and you want to go to 2, whether you're 2 and you want to go to 4, ultimately to allow you to do that, you need sales. And that's what I went back to about being miserable about your time. You just have to be so that, and I don't believe in success as success. I think it's a byproduct of discipline, focus, and hard work. And if you do those 3 things, the success will look after itself.
That's the equation of the day. Discipline, focus, plus hard work is
consistency actually is